minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Ms. Warren, for being here today. We had the opportunity to question you in a subcommittee hearing where we called attention to the salaries of many that will be working in your new department, and the concern that those salaries were anywhere from 10 to 40% higher than Federal salaries, and that the salaries you set for your employees are not subject to and not consistent with the Federal salaries, and that you have the autonomy to set your own salaries. And the concern that in this economy that maybe is a little more liberty than we would like with the American taxpayers' dollars. But I just want to talk a couple of issues here. First of all, we heard about the servicemen and women and the particular issue with Chase Bank. That issue was already declared illegal. I mean, so I'm trying to understand, we all agree in this body, and this is a bipartisan issue, that our men and women should be protected and no home should be foreclosed on when they're overseas serving this nation. But this action by Chase was already deemed illegal. We heard that countywide has already had a settlement. How do we justify this $500 million department if that's the gist of what we're talking about here?
Well, Congresswoman, I would put it this way. We know about specific abuses that have come to light. They were brought to light by the press, not by government investigation. And we know of 3 specific mortgage servicers who have publicly admitted to wrongdoing and engaged in a voluntary settlement.
And was, excuse me, and again, we have such a short period of time.
I'm sorry.
And again,
yes,
was that wasn't your department? You're not up and running yet.
No, ma'am.
That shed light on those abuses to the military.
That's right.
Okay.
But the question I thought you asked is how the consumer agency may be helpful. We are there to be an ongoing monitor. We've only talked with 3 mortgage servicers here so far. Let me put it this way. We set up our Office of Service Member Affairs back in January. It was one of the first groups we organized. Shortly after that, press reports came out about illegal foreclosures against service members. Just to give you an idea of what we do, Holly Petraeus wrote a letter immediately to 25 servicers asking them to review their practices, and we have heard back from about half of those servicers and engaged in some discussion.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't wish to cut you off, but I know in Veteran Affairs we've handled this issue up front close, and so.
Yes, ma'am.
I do want to talk to you about a couple of issues. Number one, this past week, the jobs numbers came out, and they were horrific. As you know, that only 18,000 jobs were added in June. My concern is what you're going to do will continue to hurt job growth in this country. So I'd like to know from you specifically, do you intend to raise compliance costs or raise the cost of credit for consumers?
So, Congresswoman, I should say we're trying to make prices clear, risks clear, and we're trying to make it easy for families to compare products. I don't think that that's going to cost people jobs. I think it likely makes them a little more secure. In the case specifically of compliance costs, our first initiative is the one that Congressman McHenry also talked about. Congress and the regulatory agencies have been working for 15 years
excuse me. Again, I watch my time clicking away. Do you intend to raise compliance costs on companies, which will further add to the unemployment and the difficulties that our companies and small business owners are facing in this economy?
Congresswoman, I'm sorry.
That's a yes or a no.
It is a no. We already have our first example of what we're doing lowers compliance costs. That's why it's been embraced by the American Bankers Association, by the Independent Community Bankers Association, by the Consumer Bankers Association, by the credit unions. It's been embraced by bankers and mortgage originators across the country.
So that's a no. You don't intend to raise compliance costs for companies and for businesses?
We're trying to lower costs for them.
Never, ever?
Right now, what we're trying to do, we've lined up what we're trying to do, and we hope it is the prototype for all of our work. We are working closely with community banks. We are working closely with credit unions.
Thank you. One last question. You talked in your testimony about, and it concerns me, that you have this conception that the mortgage and the credit consumer world is fraught with trips and tricks and traps, I think that was your word. If that's the case, and you're sitting here saying that this world is fraught with all of these issues, and this goes back to the Chairman's question, what is it that you intend to ban? What is it that you intend to change? If you're saying this world is filled with trips and traps, what is it that you intend to change and to
Congresswoman, I don't think banning is the right way. This is what we were talking about. It's make the prices clear, make the risks clear, mow down the fine print so it's possible for consumers to compare one product to 2 or 3 others.
But then why do you need the power in a $500 million budget? That's my concern. I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Witness may have answer.
I'm sorry?
The witness may answer the
thank
question.
you. I just didn't hear you. Thank you. Congresswoman, we need a budget because these are very large and powerful financial institutions who hire armies of lawyers to design financial products that can't be read by ordinary American families. We need some pushback. We're the voice on behalf of the customer, of the American family.
Ms.